Okay, so the video, humanity, I love you all with all my heart, with all my mind. My videos are about love, infinity, creation, existence, because this is who we are. With infinite love, infinite creation, infinite energy. Refer to my videos so you understand what I mean. Let me just go back straight to these. So the sun will rise every morning. Okay, objective reality. There is all these notions out there based on these wrong beliefs, because the Big Bang is, again, incomplete sets, entropy, incomplete sets. All these notions are incomplete sets of ideas. They are not full ideas. There is some truth in them, some objectivity in it, some level of real in it, but they're not full, complete ideas. They just, bits and pieces. And because of this model that is used to make sense of things, that is incomplete, there's this notion of entropy and stuff that is not real, like real. I mean, there's entropy in a way, but not the way they've been, everything is entropy and everything comes into nothing. Because then again, this notion of entropy implies that infinity is random, that it self-destroys or something into nothingness. It ceases to exist or something. It's this idea. Entropy is very incorrect, to be honest. There's some elements of entropy in terms of, like, if you think in terms of the past that already happened, it's like transmuted energy, the entropy of that reality ceasing to exist because it's been disintegrated, it's not there anymore, it happened already. In that regard, entropy is useful as a concept because it happened already. But this notion of entropy, that entropy is everything, that comes from like the Big Bang nonsense, that, all these thermodynamics law and all this stuff, that there is value in them. Don't take me wrong. There is value because those ideas allowed us to get to this moment where we are today. So there is value in it, just like Einstein's ideas. There is value in them. Of course there is. But this is not objective reality anymore. Because infinity is the only constant. And when we understand this notion, then all these ideas evolve. Entropy changes, and then there is a value of entropy, but not the value that we give is a lot smaller. The Big Bang is just not what that is. The Big Bang is just a cycle of life itself, part of infinity. That is just this feedback loop, is part of this self-perpetuating mechanism. The Big Bang is just one of the flashes. It's just one of the cycles of infinite creation, but it's not everything. It's not the creation itself and stuff. So the Big Bang is just this energy burst, is just part of creation itself, generating energy through the event horizon itself of its own vortex of creation. And because of light and what we can perceive and see with our telescopes, so far we see that bang, that light as the it, because it's like the source as far as we can go, but it's infinite. So that's just much more than that. That's just one of the blips of an infinite cycle, because we can just go as far as we can in light because of the technologies that we have. As we become more mature as a civilization, then we're going to start to realize that what we call the Big Bang is just not that big at all. It's just what we would like a galaxy that we see and understand, a planet, a sun, a star, because it's part of this infinite thing. So then again, because of this notion, everything will come into stillness. This idea, when I hear this, I say, these people really, like, what are they thinking? Everything is just gonna stop. Yeah, end of play. Ta-da! Is this idea? It doesn't make any sense. Really sorry. Like. And then just look at this. No, it's because it's not full information, you see, because they only see a bang, and the bang is just bang. And because we believe in fission and explosions and radioactive stuff, because of the way of technology where we are, unfortunately, is as a collective, everything is like a explosion, a reaction. It's just like a bang. And then that's it. The bang goes away, right? The sound goes away, thunder goes away, the lightning goes away, and then it never comes back. But this idea is a flawed idea, because this bang that they're talking about, that is entropy, and it's just gonna come into stillness, and the sun will cease to exist, and everything, all the galaxies will just die out, and we are just gonna die out in a few billion years, and it's just gonna be it. This is wrong. Why? Because then again, they're missing the whole picture. And the full picture is infinity. So this bang is just one feedback loop, like just keeps on going to infinity, and then the next bang, as they call it, will be a bigger bang. Because the self-reinforcing mechanism learns from itself. It's self-conscious in a way. It's electromagnetism. So it will be bigger. It will be a bigger bang now. And there is an infinite number of bangs. How about that, you guys? Bang, 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 bang. So that's what it is. It's an infinite number of bangs. Let's call it, I think it's a terrible term, bang. It's just not bangs. It's not bangs. It's just creation. It's energy. It's energies. Energy is what it is. It's just energy being generated. Comes from a vortex. It's a vortex of energy that never ends. And this bang is that. It's just energy that flows, flows, and flows, and flows, and flows. Creates more infinities, create more infinite cycles, more infinite life, more infinite energy, all this. And that's what this is. So the Big Bang is just that. It's a big bang of nonsense. So it's essentially that. It's understanding that entropy is this idea that everything quiets down, because that's what we see, because we're thinking in basic terms. So like we see, the burst comes to an end and quiets down, and we think that's what's going to happen. There is, as I said, there is a value to entropy, but entropy is not the thing, because the reason why they think entropy is the thing, and that leads to these notions of thermodynamic laws and all this stuff, that energy cannot be recreated and all this stuff, and all these ideas, this taboo, this dogma, is all based on the notion that there's only one bang. And because obviously, if you only have one bang, then obviously, yes, you're right. Your physics are actually accurate. But you're ignoring the fact that there's not only one bang, it's an infinite number of bangs. And these bangs are self-perpetuating. They're self-learning. They are an infinite mechanism, a pulse, like the human heartbeat, a resonance, electromagnetic, spherical in nature, and polarized. So this bang that you're talking about is just one beat. You're talking about one beat. The bang that you're seeing is just one beat of infinite energy. Because you don't have the ability to see the whole thing, because we don't have the technologies to actually wrap the whole thing around, because infinity is then again infinite. We're going to be able to see this full bang in what it is, which is a pulse. We're going to be able to see it, and that's what we're seeing right now, because we're expanding our horizons in terms of the new light that's coming into much older than this 13 billion thing. But I mean, this makes no sense. So it's an infinite number of years, if you want to put it in that way, infinite cycles. So it's not 13 billion, so none of that nonsense, big history, all that. Infinite. So this Big Bang, eventually we're going to map it out, and it will be maybe trillions or hundreds of billions for this bang. And it will be a pulse. You will see the pulse there. And you will see the full sphere. And that what we're seeing is just one pulse of that electromagnetism. And we are part of that. So there's no entropy, you see, because what we're seeing is one side of the equation. We're not seeing the full pulse. We're just seeing one motion of it, but not the full system, the sphere. So once you see that, then you're going to start to realize there's actually no entropy, because that energy gets fed back into the system. Because it doesn't dissipate as they think. It actually gets fed back through the vortex. And then it just recreates and creates another one and another one and another one and another one. And it's this pulse of creation at the infinite scale that creates an infinite number of bangs, to give it a name. But it's not a bang, it's a pulse. It's a pulse. Just like the heartbeat. Because then again, infinity replicates itself in the spherical manner. So because it's the geometry of creation itself, is the organizing pattern of creation. And then again, entropy is this notion that everything is random, comes to an end. This is wrong, because there's not such a thing as randomness in creation. There is creation that's random in the sense that us as creators create random things, but creation itself that created us is not random in its behavior, because it has an infinite number of e's, if you want to think in terms of time in that way, cycles, to perfect itself into this self-replicating mechanism of consciousness at all scales. So then again, it's not randomness there, because it's always a sphere, it's electromagnetic, it's always polarized. Us, we are faulty because we are learning our nature, and we came from unawareness. We are recently young species in a recently young galaxy, in a recently young planet, a recently young star, based even on the Big Bang notions. But then again, the Big Bang comes from this notion, is a full pulse that's missing, that they're gonna find out eventually, if they haven't already. So that's that, because it's the pattern of creation itself. And then again, is that because if you remove entropy, which is this notion that there's no this feedback loop that comes back again into a bigger pulse, an endless pulse of creation, which is the heartbeat and the resonance of it, then again entropy makes sense. But then obviously we know that entropy in that regard is not, there's entropy in the sense, in normal terms, like normal reactions that we observe, like a balloon explodes and then it dissipates the air and all that, and then it's entropy. But the entropy that they're referring to in terms of creation and stuff, it's just not the case. Otherwise, this wouldn't exist, because there would be no mechanism, no infinity to create this in the first place, and consciousness and self-awareness, you see? So it's common sense. Anyway, then again, this idea, because I said this when I said the sun will rise every morning, and then I mentioned the Big Bang and entropy and stuff, and they cut the feed. So then the sun rises, right, every day. It's rising from our perspective, but in reality it's just spinning, and it just rotates and translates, and we just move around it, and then we see it every so often, because the earth has its own spin, right? Gravitational force again, spin, electromagnetism. So it's all about that, and the sun does its own. It has its own trajectory and its own way. It moves across the surface of this level of existence at the galaxy scale that the sun belongs to, because what we call space, the vacuum, the field, is the surface of the sphere of the that creates the galaxy. So it's moving across that. So okay, that gravitational pulse, that gravitational pull, this resonance that keeps all these objects in motion. The surface of it is the surface of the sphere of the galaxy, the vortex of the galaxy itself that we belong to. So then again, and this is all motion, right? So then again, they cut it off there. Because I was going to say, because they believe in entropy and this notion, based on this incomplete set of ideas with the Big Bang and all this stuff, then they think that our sun will cease to exist. And we don't know this for sure, and they're just calculating that it will be in 10 billion years or something like that. Then again, think about it, right? How long is the universe and such, as they call it? The Big Bang is 13 plus billion, right? And then in 10 billions or so, almost the same amount of time that we existed, the sun will cease to exist. So then again, the sun is light and energy and creation, this vortex, electromagnetic field. So you're saying that the energy will cease to exist around the same time that it took for the energy itself to be created in the first place, with the entropy of the Big Bang, entropy, which is just a pulse. Then what you're saying, the reality is that the energy will come full circle, and a new cycle will begin of the sun because of the full electromagnetic pulse of it, because it's fed by this quantum entanglement that connects all the suns and stars to the surface of it itself, because all in a sphere, all points are connected. So then again, each sun is part of this bigger sphere, the electromagnetic field, the event horizon of the galaxy itself, the surface. That's what allows to move it in the first place over. Hey, just like a plate spins with this polarization of the coils that I referred to, the flying saucer, when they cut the other video. The same applies at the galactical scale, okay? So then it's the same because nature operates in the same way. It's a pattern of creation. It's spherical in nature, and what it does is replicates itself at scales to the pulse of life, the pulse of creation, electromagnetism, and polarization, which is biological, but it's astronomical, galactical, terrestrial, infinite. It's infinite. It's just that. That's it. This is it. Okay, this is it. This is it. So then, because of this notion, then they have this idea that the sun is gonna just go into entropy. It's gonna stop to exist because they're observing all these phenomena with the telescopes and seeing other suns like beaming less energy and stuff, and they see these mechanics, this pulse. But in reality, what we're seeing there is that the sun will most likely enter a new state, a new singularity, because that's exactly why we see, like, oh, that's why we've seen wormholes. Oh, it's at the heart of a sun, at the heart of a galaxy. It's because it's entering this new state that's just gonna emerge again, and it's just a pulse, another pulse. But we cannot see it because light travels at certain speed, right? Because of our perception. Because then again, this is why Einstein had these ideas about light being a constant, because it travels at a certain speed that we measured. But then again, that's why everything is kind of like slowly happening, because we see it at the pace the light gets to us, right? But then again, because of quantum entanglement, we know that this is not the case. This is just an illusion. We can actually get there if we wanted. If we had the energy source, we could just manifest ourselves over there immediately, because of quantum entanglement. But we just don't have the energy sources, the propulsion to do so at the moment. But we will. Spherical spaceships. We're gonna develop them and manifest immediately over there. We'll go anyway and prove it, and then we don't have to wait for the light, and time itself won't be a matter because we manifest in the here and now, and we don't have to change the past or the future or wait or whatever, because it's instant. It's here and now. It's quantum entanglement, here and now. Creation itself, infinity, and we come back to our source, and that's it, all at once. And this is going to happen because it's physics. We're just going to get there eventually. So this is the notion, the entropy, why the sun's going to cease to exist and all that. Because then, these physicists would say, oh, well, the sun will rise every morning only for 10 billion years. You don't know that. Get to the 10 billion years and we'll talk. Okay, so you see this is the constant. And then your day is infinity. So your days will continue the same way. If you don't really pay attention to creation itself and do what creation wants you to do, which is to create, open the portal, build the bridge, be one with infinity, quantum entanglement, create here because we are created to do things here. Why do you think we have these visions of the future? Because we manifested in the now, in the moment, because it doesn't exist. So the vision, the dream comes true here and now, taking action in the moment that we have. So in the future, that doesn't exist. It's the vision. And we see the vision with our eyes. It's generating that future state, which is part of the feedback loop, because infinity has everything within it. It's like the DNA. So light comes in itself and tells us, hey, you can create this because we are infinite. So you create whatever you want to create, and then it takes time though. So you put the time and the energy in the here and now. Not the time they talk about, the real time, which is this moment. The only time we have is the present moment. The here and now is the only singularity, because we ourselves are a singularity. The human heartbeat, the pulse of creation, is a singularity. Without the singularity, meaning the heartbeat, then we cease to exist and the system goes off, and then that means no life, no nothing. And then we wouldn't know. But because we have this motion, this singularity, then we're part of everything. And we live, then that's it. It's beautiful. It's truly beautiful. Hey, it truly is. It's fantastic who we are. Incredible species. So then again, the days will continue the same way unless you take action. Your free will manifested with compass and sundial. Then unless you take action, you see that's the next line. You gotta take action. No more, no less. So it has always been up to you. It has, because we have free will. We live to love and we love to live. This is our nature. This is who we are. It would always remain that way because this is our nature. We have a heartbeat. The human species has a heartbeat, and we live because of the pulse of life, the pulse of creation. So because of it, we are who we are. And it would always remain this way. benevolent species. We are benevolent race. This is who we are. We are a love-based species. This is our nature. So we are here to love, create purposeful creations, purposeful lives, because creation creates creators, and we are creators, so we can create creation itself. We are infinite. Humanity, love you all with all my heart, with all my mind. Then it would always remain that way. That's the gift that life has given you, or given us. Hey, knowing this, who we are, infinite, eternal creators, compass, sundials. Because creation creates creators. So we are creators. So creators create creations. You see, it's a feedback loop there. We are creators, and now we can create infinite number of things. We are infinite creators. This is who we are. We are powerful. Yeah, powerful. We are light. We are infinite energy. We are light spherical beings. This is who we are. This is who we are. So I'm going to read this whole thing one more time, and then that's it. So if it's not now, when? The future doesn't exist. Time is an illusion. No more, no less. So what's real then? Just look around you. This very moment is the only real thing. No more, no less. You only have the now. Don't fool yourself. Ignore this reality at your own peril. No more, no less. The sun will rise every morning. Your days will continue the same way unless you take action. No more, no less. It's always been up to you, and it will always remain that way. That's the gift that life has given you. No more, no less. I'm going to read it one more time. If it's not now, when? The future doesn't exist. Time is an illusion. No more, no less. So what's real then? Just look around you. This very moment is the only real thing. No more, no less. You only have the now. Don't fool yourself. Ignore this reality at your own peril. No more, no less. The sun will rise every morning. Your days will continue the same way unless you take action. No more, no less. It's always been up to you, and it would always remain that way. That's the gift life has given you. No more, no less. I'm going to read it one more time because I think I missed a bit the previous time. Not this one, just this first time. If it's not now, when? The future doesn't exist. Time is an illusion. No more, no less. So what's real then? Just look around you. This very moment is the only real thing. No more, no less. You only have the now. Don't fool yourself. Ignore this reality at your own peril. No more, no less. The sun will rise every morning. Your days will continue the same way unless you take action. No more, no less. It's always been up to you, and it would always remain that way. That's the gift life has given you. No more, no less. Humanity, I love you all with all my heart, with all my might. Remember who we are. We're infinite, eternal creators. This is who we are. This is our nature. This is our nature. We're light spherical beings. We live to love, and we love to live. We are benevolent species with the human race. We have a heart that gives us life for a reason. We are heartful species. We are love-based species. We are a heart-based species. We're the leaders of the Republic of Planet Earth. We're the citizens of the Republic of Planet Earth. We're the citizenry of the Republic of Planet Earth. We're the citizens of the Republic of Planet Earth. This is who we are. Humanity, I love you all with all my heart, with all my might.